Hello, I'm going to be sharpening a knife for you guys today. I've got my Fork and Even DC 521 sharpener, a natural oil stone, and my strop. I'm going to be starting with this stone, working with the finer grits. I just thought I'd talk about it while I'm doing it. I don't really have my face on the camera. We're just going to talk about how and why I like to do this kind of sharpening. I've got a little cloth here to put the knife box on, and then you can just sort of put that one on there, and it's a pretty grippy box, and I don't have much to sharpen. The knife today I'm sharpening is this Japanese Damascus Yanagiba that I finished yesterday. Small bit of talking about the knife. The handle material is a stabilized Cody, which is New Zealand timber. It's really nice. There's a lot of chatoyance in the handle. The camera probably doesn't do much justice for it, but it does look very pretty in person. You'll have to take my word for it. The other part of the handle here, the black piece, is buffalo horn. It buffs up really nice. It's a very nice handle material to work with, and it's a little bit more rare and quite special, but for this knife it was definitely calling out for it. The two white spaces are sterling silver. They are a just a nice sort of addition to the handle. I'm going to use silver a lot more into the handles that I'm doing for 2021 and 22. And yeah, the blade itself features a 150 layer of Damascus. It's incredibly shiny, buffed to a high finish, and has again a lot of chatoyance in the blade's surface finish. And this blade features a hollow grind, so it can be sharpened while sitting flat this way, which is what I'm going to be doing as well, and giving it the initial edge, because it doesn't have an edge yet. So we're going to start on the primary bevel side. It's quite a long knife, so I'll take my time with this. I might be shaking the table a little bit, but that's okay. Now, I'm not quite sitting flat onto that bevel that I've got. I'm slightly up on it, and I will be making a small micro bevel for the blade there that hopefully can be viewed. Essentially, the blade and the angles and the steepness of what I've ground on the knife, this micro bevel is going to add nothing in terms of drop in performance on how well this knife will perform. It is just a nice little touch, and obviously because it's a Damascus knife, I don't want to put too many more scratches into the surface of the blade. I'm working this primary bevel down, so I don't see any light along the edge of the blade. I'm looking down the blade like that to check. And yeah, there's not really much else to talk about, just even pressure and keeping my eye out for the burr, making sure I can feel it evenly along the blade. Occasionally I'll have to wipe the blade because the material that's worn away from the abrasive stone does build up along the surface of the stone and along the surface of the blade. So keeping that clean, wiping it, making sure there's nothing in the way, ensures I'm keeping track of where the edge is. It's looking really good just on that grip. Now, why I like to use a diamond stone, it's just really responsive. It's one of my favorite stones. I actually have done a review on my YouTube channel a while ago about the stone. This isn't the same stone, this is another one, and on average Excuse me. On average, I can probably get about maybe 1,000 knives sharpened on it before it starts to go. This one's just about ready to go, but I can sharpen in little areas where the stone hasn't been worn away as much, and I'm still getting some good feedback from the stone. So that's almost that side done. I've got a really nice good burr. This blade is very thin as well, so it's slightly on the more flexible side of the Yanagiba. So I'm just going to be working a bevel on that side, and that's actually the hollow grind side. So this is technically what the hollow is designed to do, is just take that small section of material away at the front, instead of having a flat grind blade and having to remove all of that material away, which would be far more time consuming. So that's feeling really good. Very hard to see on the camera, but there's a little flat bevel right on the edge there. When you are sharpening and or learning to sharpen, it's really important to take your time and be patient with the knife you have and the stones you have as well. Sharpening is not something you'll pick up immediately, and takes a large amount of practice before you get good at anything, before a knife even begins to seem sharp. But once you get the knack of it, you can get things sharp really quickly. And it's a big investment for you and the knives you use, especially if you're in the kitchen a lot. Knowing how to sharpen them allows you to sharpen your blade up really quickly and accurately, so you can just get back to what you were doing with that knife instead of taking it out of action. Now, paper is a really good way to check how sharp your knife is going as you're sharpening. I've got some relatively thick A4 paper, printing paper, and ideally, if you're starting to cut through paper, you're on a good sign. But you can hear it's quite teary still, so I'm not quite there yet. And I might go back onto the previous bevel. To swap over to the next side. This is the coarse side. You can flip over to that side. This side isn't diamond. It's synthetic corundum, I believe. It's much finer for knives. And it's a really nice finishing stone. Cool, I've got a really nice burr. You can probably hear that. That's a good sign. And when that burr starts to break away onto the stone or off the knife, you know you're in a good position, and you know that your knife is getting a little bit more sharp. Usually the burr breaks off in little flakes or one big line. Just about there. Swap to my finer stone now, this one here. Again, just finer grit. Just about there. Few gentle strokes just to even up the burr, and then we get the same piece of paper we had before and see how we are going. So it's clicking pretty nicely now. It's a lot less teary, which is nice. I'm going to strop the knife now, and that's going to help align the burr a bit more nicely. I might just move the camera here a little bit. Stand up. It's going to be dragging the knife along here, like so. To do it in sections before I do long sweeps along the strop. Some long strikes like that. I think this knife is 250 millimeters long in blade length. Overall, I think the whole knife is about 400. It's a pretty big blade for this length of strap. Move this one back down. See how it cuts. Hopefully better than before. Otherwise I may have to go back to the stone and resharpen things, but that's a lot better than before. And you can see that I can kind of just leave it in that place and it'll cut. I don't have to saw through the paper anymore, and I can cut nice little curves as well. So overall, pretty happy with that. I might go back and do a little bit more stropping, maybe off camera, but in about 15 minutes or so that's led me to a nicely sharpened knife. So yeah, I'll upload this one shortly and you guys can watch it. Thank you.